Thanks for tuning in to this guest episode of Phantom Entanglement podcast, hosted by Christina and me, Andrew, from Project Quantum Leap, the podcast.
So this particular episode doesn't, have any spoilers, really. If you haven't seen it by now, I don't know what to tell you. I wouldn't say there was anything really that triggering in here either. But a bit of housekeeping, real quick. Where have we been?
Busy.
Very busy.
Well, our podcast was centered around the new Quantum Leap series, which obviously has been ended. And although we do have plans to continue podcasting for classic episodes, which we had already done in line with our mainline episodes, life's just been hectic for all of us. So It's been put on hiatus basically for a long time. But hey, these guest episodes we've been doing will probably help us get back in gear and get ready for continuing.
Yeah, I think also like when they canceled Quantum Leap, we did take a big hit.
Yeah,
just because
I loved the show, so
yeah, it was a really good show, and it was just a little rough on us.
Getting to meet the cast and everything was some highlights of those years. So,
right? I mean, that was some good years. So hopefully, we can get back to you soon. In a more consistent capacity. But until then, we're doing some guest spots, especially with Fandom Entanglement, which shout out. And also second shout out to the Sliders Wiki, where I got like the synopsis and guest cast and everything.
Right.
For this episode.
So we were asked to do season 3, episode 12, which is season's Greedings. Its original air date was December 20th, 1996. I was 10 years old.
I was 16.
From the wiki, the episode is described: the Sliders arrive on a world consumed by consumerism, and where most of the population have moved into giant malls in the sky. They are forced to dive into this twisted world where a mother abandons her child in Maximilian Arturo's arms to return to a life of slavery at the mall. Meanwhile, Wade Wells encounters her father and her sister and must deal with painful memories where she realizes she doesn't exist on this world.
So our guest cast is going to be Chase Masterson as Kelly Wells, Neil Roberts as Ted Burnson, Alan Williams as Don Wells, Sean Flynn as Jason. This one I found to be absolutely hilarious. Nicholas Keelahan as kid number 2. Well, we don't have a kid number 1. So I don't know. Jodie Curtis as Ginny, Paul Messenger as the priest, Jacqueline Oberdors as Carol, and Stuart I'm sorry, I almost said Franklin. It's Fredkin as the instructor.
So, obviously, Christmas episode, so they have to shoehorn Christmas meanings and everything into it. It was kind of a fun episode, not one of my favorites. Not one that I choose to revisit, not one I have a lot of memories of from when I watched this when it was new. I've also done 2 rewatches of Sliders in the last, I want to say, 5 to 7 years. Didn't remember this episode at all. It was like it was my first time watching it. So it's clearly not something that's sticking in me. But watching it, I still had fun. It's always, in a way, it's kind of a gift to be able to see new content from a show that I've seen a bunch of times. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is always funny to revisit a show and you're like, I know this front to back and, sideways, forwards, everything. And then you see something and you're like, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Now, to be fair, I think I said this last time I was on a Phantom Entanglement podcast for Sliders. I've never finished Sliders, not once in my life. I have watched all of the episodes up until Arturo leaves, and then I make it a few episodes after that, and I just lose interest. The format or the show just doesn't have the magic that keeps me interested in it anymore after that. And one of these days I will finish it. I hope. But man, it's as a John Rhys Davies fan, it's really hard to see kind of. I mean, and Wade's already gone at that point to see the show kind of disintegrate. Spoilers, disintegrate basically, and Quinn. I think Quinn leaves before Arturo, but a little hazy. But yeah, I think it's really just
Yeah.
Rembrandt at that point, and as much as I love the character, it's just the magic is gone for me at that point. So
I feel like this core cast of characters just it the way they meld and work together, it makes the show.
right,
It's like I have the same way with House. After that first set of doctors, like after they leave, I can't get into it. It's just not. It's not the same for me.
yeah, and with so much of the show's inciting incident kind of being integral to who the characters are, the stakes they make new stakes,
Yeah,
um, but to me it never. I don't know. It felt. I don't know. They weren't the original stakes, so I just feel like it was kind of lost, especially with Wade and Quinn being on. Well, Quinn kind of turns into like his brother or something, if I remember right. I hope I'm not making anyone really upset by by misremembering. Um, and then Wade, I believe, decides to stay on a world that's very very similar but not hers, but might as well be sort of thing.
yeah.
And so that's kind of sad because they're not even in the same place. Um, so that's okay. That's Sydney getting water. That's not someone going to the bathroom, which is what it sounds like. Thanks.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, so yeah, just disclaimer on that, and I'm sorry if I make anyone upset if they if I'm not well versed on the end of the original cruise, because it's sad to me. So
Yeah. Um, well, this episode, like you said, it was a fun episode. It was interesting. But what was with those camera angles?
man, Dutch angles and up nose shots
Like,
was like half the episode,
I know.
and sometimes it would be an up angle Dutch angle.
I'm like sitting here going, and now I'm wondering, I'm all, is this where I learned to take funky selfies?
Yeah,
Emily always makes fun of me because I'll take my selfies and it'll be kind of cockeyed, and she's
that's
like,
because you're from the
"Why?"
MySpace era.
Yeah, that is true too.
It had me like trying to find meaning in it. Like a Dutch angle is usually used. That's the super crooked one for anyone who's
Yeah,
not a cinematographer. When the like bottom of the frame is in the corner of the screen rather than the bottom, right? Um, those are usually used obviously a lot in horror movies because it's meant to convey uneasiness in sort of like an unsettling way. And like, are they just saying this whole world is unsettling? Which like I understand, but like
yeah.
kind of an overuse. I forgot to check who the director of cinematography was for that episode, and I wanted to see if they had like gone on to do anything significant, but I didn't have time to check, and it's kind of irrelevant. But I was laughing. I was like, wow, just every angle I can see their nose hairs, or everything's crooked. Every
I,
other
I
angle, I should say.
I think after like the third or fourth scene, when they did that, that crooked angle, I just went dum dum dum.
Yeah, yeah. That's,
That's
that's kind of what it feels like.
yeah.
Um, and then I like to shout out the Universal Studios backlot, which was the staircase to the Sky Mall. That is the escalator and staircase that goes to the ET, well, not ET, the Mummy ride, the Jurassic Park ride, the whole downstairs back lot, the studio tours down there. That was
Our
everything.
mom got,
It was. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, our mom got sick on those stairs.
Oh yeah. They didn't even attempt to like cover it up. It was kind of funny.
No, yeah.
I mean, it is a Universal production, so I mean, it makes sense. I was trying to place the mall. I don't think the mall was a set. I think they probably just used probably a mall in LA, but I couldn't place it because
Probably.
I don't live in LA. So
Yeah. I don't go there often enough to.
yeah, I was trying to like look at the ceiling, and I was like, man, it probably doesn't even look like that anymore. So I probably couldn't even place it. Even if I went
Yeah.
and visited every mall in LA, I probably wouldn't be able to recognize it. They had like etchings on the glass, and I'm like, there's no way that they had the budget to like re-glass this mall, so that has to be real
Yeah.
glass, but it's probably not even that anymore. So I don't know where the rest of that everything took place, but yeah, a whole bunch of it took place on the Universal, not even like a studio, just in the theme park.
Yeah, right.
And I thought that was funny. But while they're going up that staircase, it had me think about Wade is upset because of Christmas and all that, and she asks Quinn. He says like, "Hey, but we'll make it home," and she says, when, Quinn?" And the levity of that kind of hit me for the first time from a more realistic standpoint, which I think is probably due to our podcast because that was always my position is trying to find the realistic part of it, the scientific part of it.
Yeah.
A person going through what they're going through, they don't have an anchor the
No.
way Al or Ben did. They don't have an anchor to their universe or their time for what they had, but they don't have an anchor to their home. And I understood Wade's decision to stay behind, as she does eventually. In that moment, watching this episode for this podcast, I was like, a real person would most likely just be like, hey, this is basically exactly like home. I'm going to stay here. The fact
Yeah.
that they hit worlds that are that similar to home so many times, it's, I don't know. It might actually change my perspective if I go and start a watch through right now to being able to continue the show because in that moment, like I said, I understood Wade, which means I'll understand, I think, more when she decides to stay behind.
Yeah. And that makes sense. And like you said, they don't have the anchor. They have each other, but they're all
Yeah.
like careening through time and space with nothing. They have no idea what's going on back home.
Hmm.
People are probably like, where the hell are they? And that's gotta suck.
Right. So yeah, Christmas episode, right?
I know. Heavy.
Yeah. But I just wanted to bring it up because yeah, for whatever reason, this watch, this time, I understood Wade's decision for the first time. So I thought that was significant enough to bring up.
Yeah. And then you were talking about like, so we have the Sky Mall
Right.
and everything, and then we have this little church. Is it a church?
Unclear. They treated it like a church. And
Yes.
he has the Padre get up,
Yeah.
and Wade said, "Light a candle," or not Wade. Claire,
Claire
was that her name?
or
Carol.
Carol?
Carol says,
Christmas
"I'm gonna go
Carol.
light." Yeah, Christmas Carol. Oh, ha. Says, "I'm gonna go light a candle," but I don't know. I don't see any iconography.
Yeah, it looked kind of
Maybe
just
it's the
like
Church of Consumerism.
maybe. Well, also it seems like they were kind of on the outskirts, so they've rejected this corporate consumerism kind of life and they're kind of put away from it. So maybe they just, unlike here, in our world, we have a lot of churches that are built up and everything because it's important to people, you know,
Mhm.
varies from person to person, but you know what I mean. But in this world, it's like the mall is the church.
Yeah,
People are
maybe.
kind of like, not so much like it's the church, this is what they worship, but it's almost like they're like, no religion, we want to spend our money. We're gonna sell our souls to this.
I'm actually not convinced the we don't see anything about the sky, the upstairs, except the church, right? That's all we see, I think.
You mean the downstairs? Upstairs is the mall.
Oh, did I have it? Okay, yeah, Sky Mall. So the lady, Carol, I thought she went farther up, like to another level, but she went
No,
back
she
down to
went
the ground.
down. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that kind of helps so much more.
Yeah.
So, okay, so yeah, it was very, compared to the consumerism mall, it was very, I want to say minimalist, right? It was just basically a
Yeah.
greenhouse. I mean, a very fancy greenhouse, very like nicely built, but
Yeah.
it was just like a frame with glass. So I think you're onto something there where it kind of is the other side of the coin, obviously religion, consumerism. But yeah, I think they even showed it in the building itself, which makes more sense to me now that I realize that that was on the ground, not in a higher tier.
Yeah. Yeah. It seemed, more simple, more humble in a way than
Mhm.
this whole Sky Mall.
You know what's
And it,
funny? You know what it makes me think of? Uh, in a less steampunky way, Final Fantasy VII, where all of Midgard is on these plates, and that's where all the important people live, right?
right.
Um, and then on the ground they keep all the poor people, obviously. Um, I don't. I mean, it's not exactly the same because they're basically keeping slave labor up on the top.
Yeah.
But in Final Fantasy VII, they end up basically using those sky cities as weapons. They'll just like drop them out of the sky if you become uncompliant. So,
Oh,
so it brings up a whole other facet of that because they even mention how are they keeping these up there, and it's kind of glossed over, pylons or something.
yeah. But
But
and it if you think about it, they did have a way to control their people if they became
yeah,
incompliant.
the flow of people to go up or down, obviously with
Yeah,
basically shock collars that were so debilitating it could drop a man.
that was wild. And then I don't know how she managed, but she managed, like she said, to get away and get down there. Um, but then she drops off her baby with a random man.
Right?
There was no indication that like they knew each other or she recognized him or anything like that. They didn't look as if they were people who worked at the church. There was a priest kind of right there. What if he was a serial killer or a human trafficker? Or I get what she was trying to do, but she just left him with a random person.
Yeah, even more so, like I thought about that when Arturo does track down Carol. She never really questions like why he's in the Sky Mall.
Yeah,
Like you would think like, "Oh, where's my baby now if you're here?" Like that
right.
part never comes up. It is odd to me that she wouldn't ask the father or whatever religion that was supposed to be, the priest guy, to hold the baby rather than random churchgoer.
Yeah, because anybody can go into a church.
Just a irresponsible mom.
Yeah.
And like I get it, dire situations and everything, but man, that's your child.
Yeah, and if her plan was eventually to get back to this baby, wouldn't you want to stick around and make sure you're going to have a way to do that?
Yeah, or much less who the person is, so you know where to go. What was her that I didn't even think about that part. What was her plan when she did ultimately? Oh, excuse me. That was coming for like 5 minutes. What was her plan to track down where her kid was when she had this mythical moment of paying off her loan?
Right? Like she didn't even ask his name.
Right.
Suddenly they've got a baby sliding with them.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Now, expanding on this Arturo and Carol thing, I want to bring up something that crossed my mind. Is it feels like a lot of content was cut from this episode. Like it was too long, and rather than reworking the episode to make everything make sense, they just cut stuff. Like
Yeah.
there's the weird moment where there's two weird moments where Arturo is first in the first one talking to Carol, and he like grabs her by the chin, which was very weird and intimate. And at the end, they like kiss on the lips. But
I
other
don't
than
kiss
those two
strangers.
moments, right? Other than those two moments, there was no indication of any sort of romantic tension or building. It was just suddenly. So I feel
And
like we're missing context because that
it,
wasn't a thank you stranger. That was a romantic tension kiss with nothing to that it was building on.
yeah, and it's not even like it was like a mutual, it was almost like a mutual agreement to kiss when I mean, I could see maybe an overly excited mother, oh my God, you saved me, you saved my baby, like just jump into somebody's arms and kiss him. Like that would be unexpected on his part. But yeah, it was like, okay, we're gonna kiss now. And I was like, where the hell did that come from?
And a kiss on the cheek, nonetheless. I mean, a kiss on the lips, nonetheless.
Yeah.
A kiss on the cheek, what I think would have been less weird.
Yeah, it was really strange to me.
Also, did I don't remember other episodes where they go into Arturo's parents dying his mother dying in World War II. But John Rhys Davies is not that old. Like I think
Yeah.
he's in his or is he? Maybe he is.
Oh,
But I never thought he was old enough to be alive in World War II. So I was caught off guard by them saying that. Because, oh, yeah, he was born like
oh,
right as the war
well,
was ending.
44. Yeah.
He wouldn't remember his mother dying in the war if he was 1 year old.
No. I mean, maybe his character is technically older than he is, that we've seen
I
that
get, yeah,
happen.
I
But
guess that's close enough to say he's just a few years older. But
it's
I guess that, oh
possible.
man, I hate time because I had no idea. Like I guess in my mind, Mr. Davies was 60.
Yeah, like, oh wow, he's 81. This is like the Ernie
Yeah,
Hudson thing all over again. I'm like, no,
I
what are
know,
you talking
right?
about? He's 50. No, he's like in his 70s.
Yeah, no, I think he's 80 now.
Well, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think Ernie is too.
Oh,
Isn't
is
he?
he? Oh my God, I feel so old.
Irrelevant to this episode, but he's
But
either there or he's right around there.
yeah, but yeah,
So
there's these actors that they've been around our whole lives, and yeah, time's moving forward, but you never think they're as old as they actually are.
all right. So at least Jerry O'Connell is not as old, or he's around the age I would have assumed he was. He's 51 now.
Okay,
So,
that makes sense to
yeah.
me.
So wow. I guess when I was watching the show, I didn't realize there was like a 30-year difference between him and the professor.
Oh wow,
I guess John just looked good for his age for a long time.
good for him.
Yeah. So anyway, building on Arturo's sad story, which, by the way, he delivered so matter of factly. My mother died in the war. She threw her body over me. Oh,
Yeah,
just like that, huh?
let me
We
trauma
also,
dump on you.
yeah. I was just fun. It was just funny to me when Quinn was talking to
Kelly.
Kelly about his father dying. He's like, oh, for years it didn't feel like Christmas. He died when I was 11, and then when I was 14, I was like, oh, so for 3 years. He made it sound like it was like this big, long, dark period of
I
his
know,
life,
right?
and then just a couple years later, he gets the Charlie Brown tree. Who? Yeah.
So, like, does Charlie
I,
Brown not exist in this world?
yeah, I want. Now that we're on that, I find it. Sorry, I'm stuttering a lot as my brain races around. I find it funny. One of the things I kind of enjoy about the show, if you've listened to our podcast, you know we like corniness. It fits with these styles of shows. There's always, almost always, a reference to some random pop media thing that they will make that the universe they're in will not understand. And sometimes, I mean, a lot of times that makes sense. Like when they're on the dinosaur world, or when they're in the anything that's so different from ours. But there's so many worlds that are like similar to ours. They'll always do that. I always find that funny. It's a nice little chuckle. This one, it was Charlie Brown.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Which does make sense because, the Charlie Brown Christmas is kind of an American staple. So
yeah. I wonder what life would be like without it.
blockheads everywhere.
Yeah. Well, now that we're on Quinn and Kelly, though, I I've never understood why this man just gets tangled up in all these things. Like it's always a woman. It's always a woman.
It was the 90s.
He was.
That's compelling storytelling.
He's always getting tangled up in these situations, and he's like just wanting to help, and winds up usually getting himself into a load of trouble.
Savior stuff.
Yeah. Like every time.
I just realized something a little off topic, something I wanted to bring up. The special effects. I love. They tried, right? They try so hard.
Yeah.
And for the 90s, pretty good. For the 90s TV budget, pretty damn good. But when they slide in, I don't know what made me think of this, by the way, so sorry for the train of thought. When they slide in, I don't know how often you can realize this. I've never noticed it. I don't know if it's my slightly more critical eye because of podcasting or what, but as they jump in, you can see the composite of the frame, and they cut like on the left side of the screen, they cut them out with like a still image of the grass or whatever, and then they put in the little CGI gate, and then they jump in from off screen, and they composited them in. Except what they didn't do is they didn't remove the shadows. So on the grass, you can see the shadows where they're running, and then they jump, and then they come out of the portal, but their shadows were in the universe before they were through the portal. I thought that was funny.
I'm gonna have to watch that again.
Yeah, it's like
episodes.
Right. Yeah, now I'm curious. When I go back to watch, I'm gonna probably be looking out for stuff like that a lot more often.
Yeah, well, I saw something today. It was a clip on Facebook or something, and it was Batman and Robin from like 60s. And it's like, what was their budget? And it had the Joker throwing like these streamers at Robin, and he's and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Or the can of hairspray that just says shark repellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I mean, at least we have evolved from that.
That's very true. It doesn't bother me. It's part of the charm of the show, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And I would even try to explain it away in universe, like the universes are, slightly merged when the gate is open, and so the shadows are actually being projected from the other universe or whatever.
I mean, and that would make sense.
It's quantum physics.
Yeah.
Just like in Quantum Leap, entanglement, all that stuff. The shadow was entangled.
That's where we get the Hat Man when we take our Benadryl.
Yeah. What?
The Hat Man. Have you ever heard the thing like when you take Benadryl, you see like this? It's like a shadow, and it's just a guy in a hat.
No,
You've
no, I
never
can't
heard
say I
that?
have. I've never
Batman.
heard that. When I take Benadryl, I don't see anything except the back of my eyelids.
Yeah, some people it's almost like it's almost like the same idea as the shadow man, you see the shadows like kind of moving and it looks like somebody's there and it's not anybody. But a lot of
So
people
it's
say when
just
they
it's just it's just parallel dimensions merging for a moment.
exactly.
Hatman doesn't. Oh my God, Fringe has. That must be
Does
where
Fringe
Fringe. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I hopped on Google. Fringe observers. Oh my God, you just unlocked something for me. So in
did I?
Fringe, there's these. Fringe is another parallel universe thing, kind of like Sliders, but there's these guys called the Observers, and they wear suits and I forget what it's called. It's not a fedora, but it's kind of like a fedora. It basically looks like a fedora. I think it's a porker hat or something. But yeah, it's like
Okay.
a brim hat that goes all the way around.
The Hat Man.
So wow, I guess they took the lore from Benadryl people to make that
Yeah.
show. Yeah,
Yeah, there's shirts around it said I'm not taking Benadryl because I don't want to see the Hat Man.
yeah. Oh, whoops. There you go. You see him?
That's so funny. The Hat Man.
But yeah, they're. I don't remember all the lore behind them, but they stand basically outside of the flow of time or the dimensions, and they make sure that things go according to the plan of whoever, Denethor, or whoever rules that world. I can't remember.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Anyway, wow, cool. So, Fringe lore, Sliders lore, timey wimey. What's that Doctor Who quote? Timey wimey, loosey goosey, or something.
Something like that. That's the one I've only seen a few episodes of.
Oh, yeah, I've
But
never seen Doctor Who, but I've seen that quote everywhere.
yeah. Um, and on another note, when it comes to parallel universes, can you imagine jumping into a universe and finding out you don't exist?
Yeah, that, I mean, I would think, I think it's, how do I phrase this? It is, I think, a little strange to me. They decided to focus on that in this episode because I think in most universes they jump into, they don't exist. I think it's more, um, it's less common for the episodes to have their doubles because then they focus on it so heavily.
Yeah.
So yeah, from a standpoint of me, that'd be kind of weird, like jumping into like a real life, It's a Wonderful Life sort of situation.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's one thing to like not exist, it's another thing to see your family existing without you.
Yeah, and
That's
what
that's
what
just
happened with them?
yeah, that's just crazy to me.
Um, so also anyone who may have not watched us in the past, we go on a lot of sidebars. Uh, Things catch our interest, and we go off to the side. I'm gonna go off to the side right now. Have you ever have you ever heard the theory that Kermit the Frog caused 9/11?
I've never heard this theory.
So there is a movie. I don't remember which one it is offhand, but it is a basically a Muppets It's a Wonderful Life type story where
Okay.
Kermit is the one that either wishes he wasn't born or gets the glimpse of it for one reason or another. And it was filmed before 9/11, and they had forgot to composite out the Twin Towers. So when the movie released, when he visits his other life where he wasn't born, the Twin Towers exist. But then when he goes back to his real life,
Oh
they're gone again.
no.
So for whatever reason, Kermit being born causes a chain of events that makes 9/11 happen.
That's awful. That's awful.
Yeah. No, I'm not the one who came up with this theory. I just came across it. So you can Google it and figure out what the movie is and get the whole rundown. It's quite funny. But yeah, canon. Now he didn't like plan it. I'm not saying that. No, no, no. But for whatever reason, his existence butterfly affected 9/11 into existence.
That's so crazy.
And now we'll come back to sliders.
Right. Well, okay. And let's go on that. So without Wade and her mother, it seems like Kelly and the dad are not doing so great. Is that just because she's not there, or is that just this world in general?
I definitely believe it. And I'm sure the world plays a role in it, but clearly there's emotional trauma for both of them. Kelly missing her mother. I don't remember their age difference, but obviously old enough to remember.
Yeah.
And obviously the father, I can't imagine going through that, losing your wife and your second child all on the same day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely contribute Wade's non-existence as the biggest factor as to why Kelly turned out the way she is. Because if it was just the world, I don't think she would have been as easy to persuade to help them and go against what's his fuck, I can't remember his name. Starts with a B.
I forget his name.
Yeah, is it
But he was a dick.
Burnson?
Burnson.
Yeah. If it was the world that they were in, the surroundings of the world itself, I don't think she would have helped them ultimately. I don't think she would have been so willing to believe Wade was her sister, even with the albeit somewhat incorrect inside knowledge of her life.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously they did notice that there was like a resemblance.
They were drawn
But
for one reason or
yeah,
another.
yeah,
I mean, we know the reason,
yeah.
but
We
they
do,
didn't know the
but
reason. They didn't know why. They were just drawn to the character,
yeah.
especially the father.
What would you do if like you jumped into a timeline and you found out, like, say you were an only child and you jumped into a timeline and you found out you had siblings? Like, how different do you think you would be?
I'm sorry. So like, I as the slider grew up an only child, and in this parallel universe, I have siblings,
Yeah, or even the
or
other
the
way
other way
around.
around. I guess that would be super weird. Like okay, say it was just the three of us.
Yeah,
We have another sister, just so you know.
she's
um,
just as nerdy as the rest of us.
yeah, about different things though. And then we slide, and okay, so mom had a miscarriage
Yeah,
before you, I think, right? Or was it
before
after
me.
you?
No, it's before me.
So what if in some parallel universe that was an older brother? That is crazy to think about.
Isn't that weird?
Because I guess until I put it in that perspective, it was hard to visualize. But when I put it in a perspective that our mother did have another fetus who was miscarried, that there was a potential for us to be four, or in
Or
that universe,
one,
what would
like,
have true. But I'm willing to bet it would be in that universe. I would have Wade's exact thing. I wouldn't have existed because they would have had their boy and their two girls, and then
possibly.
why have another at that point? They got what they needed slash wanted. What if Candy or I guess we can say her name. What if Candy didn't exist because with him coming first,
Right?
boy, girl. That
Yeah.
is super weird. Imagine a world where you exist, but not Candy and me.
And how would I be different now that I'm not the oldest?
Yeah.
It's a different dynamic.
Yeah, your older brother would be the most messed up one. No, I was kidding.
I'd just be the asshole.
Oh. But yeah, no, that would be super weird. And I could try to conceptualize that all day, but I bet once I was thrown into it, it would be totally different. It doesn't matter what I would think or prepare for. Once it happened, that would go out the window. And
Yeah.
I might be as dumbstruck and fear struck as Wade.
Yeah. That it would just be a strange situation.
Um, Speaking of strange situations, this whole world, or the sliver that we see of it, and it does sound like it's quite widespread, at least in the United States, um,
Yeah.
because of Mr. Wells saying all the other ones are the same. You won't find anything there you can't find here. Has taken that corporate Christmas greed to the next level. Um, and this is your note in here. But yeah, it's not a unique story. I mean,
Yeah.
the details around it are unique, but it's not a story that hasn't been told. How Christmas is over commercialized and that no one knows the true meaning of Christmas. Um, my take on that is split, I guess. I, as my beliefs, it is Christmas is a gathering of family, of good times, and memory making.
Yeah.
And the Jesus thing, I don't really believe in all that, but that also is important to a lot of people. But although I see the messages, Gifts of the Magi is another one about Christmas materialism, and I always find them a little over heavy-handed, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, like clearly this world is not good. Like they shouldn't be handling Christmas this way. But I feel like they try to, and maybe not this show specifically, but I feel like many of these stories use that to say how awful our world is. Look at how it is looked at when it's made hyperbolic. But I don't think there's anything innately wrong about buying gifts for my friends and family. So that's where
Yeah.
I'm kind of split about it. Like, there definitely is a line, and
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
sure that people do cross it, but I've not witnessed it. So I feel like the messages can be a little heavy-handed and hyperbolic sometimes.
Yeah. And there is, I think a lot of the fault does lie on um the businesses. They're the ones
Oh,
that are pushing
100%.
it. For
100%.
me, I like to buy things, make things, whatever, do things for people that I love. And to me, that's Christmas. You know, I, but there are people that will go straight into debt and not even just for Christmas, for anything,
That's true.
you
Um,
know?
those subliminal messages, buy equals love, or love equals buy equals love. I
Yeah.
forget what the other one that Rembrandt brings up is, but he says them verbatim. Um, but yeah, like I'm sure there are people that unfortunately think that way. Um, so maybe the message is. I'll take a step back and I'll say the message is maybe important for many people to hear, even though maybe it doesn't resonate with me. I'm not the only person in the world, so I'll take a
Yeah.
step back and say I'm overthinking it. I think, and
And there
it
are,
probably.
yeah, there are some people who will fall for it hook, line, and sinker. And they don't necessarily go as heavy handed as they did in this episode, but you see it everywhere. Like, if you love them, you'll get them this. If you love them, you'll get them that, or you'll do this for them, and blah, 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 kind of thing. And, some people, they'll just buy into it.
True. I do like Arturo um, becoming the Santa, telling the stories to the kids, and seeing the pretty much immediate turnaround in the young, which was kind of a theme of his in this episode, is
Yeah.
thinking that the young are perfect, and he says it right off the bat with. Did we ever get the name of the kid? The baby?
Mm,
I think they just call him the baby. Your
yeah,
baby, your child.
I don't 100%
Well,
remember.
anyway, he says it to
It's like
Carol's baby
mentioned
about what is
once.
about babies. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something about them having perfection. So I liked that. I mean, that was basically a setup for Arturo becoming Santa in that episode and trying to lead the kids to a better way. Breaking free from the corporate commercial.
Which
That was
happened,
nice. And
it happened quickly too. Like the adults, you could see there was pushback, but the kids are like, oh,
I
cool.
don't know if
You
it
know,
was intended by the writers or if it's just kind of a happy accident. But it's kind of like they got attention for their first time. And that
yeah,
was more valuable to them as like an adult giving them attention, valuable attention,
yeah.
meaningful attention, versus just filling their life with things.
And it did seem like, there weren't a lot of parents to be found. It was like these kids were kind of just dropped here.
Right.
Like, okay,
That's
here
true.
you go.
Where are these kids' families? I think the first kid number 2, Nicholas Cleahan, I think we saw his parents for a moment at first, but
Yeah.
yeah, none of the other ones, they just kind of appeared.
Well, it
But
sounds
you know
like
what? Maybe it's a
it,
daycare. They
it,
do
it
say, Wade says that the mall is everything. They have residential, they have shopping, they have, so maybe it's just a daycare center.
yeah, it does sound like that there's, schools and everything that went on there. So
Yeah.
it probably was something like that. It's like, oh, special Christmas time, you can go out and see Santa. So
Yeah, they just happen to slide in on Saturday, Sunday, I guess.
and they got jobs instantly.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, actually, that's another thing I want to bring up about Sliders and honestly, a lot of other shows. Shows like this where we don't see necessarily the entire progression of everything they do. Uh, like Quantum Leap, sometimes the slide or the leap at the beginning of the episode has nothing to do with the previous episode.
Yeah.
It's what do they call it? A stinger? Is that
Yeah.
what it's called?
Uh, something
It's
like
for a
that. Yeah.
joke. It's for a
Yeah.
playoff. But sometimes in sliders, it seems like they're in places for weeks, if not months, in only the ones we don't see. The ones and the slides we see as an observer, they're always a few days, sometimes a week or so. But he says he lost track of time. He didn't even realize it was December, and it's the end of December. How long were they in that jungle world?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's often the case, is they seem to be in longer slides when we're not watching.
Well,
We only
time
see the interesting
constraints.
ones.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know. A month-long jungle world trying to evade pygmies, I think Rembrandt says.
I
That sounds pretty
mean,
interesting.
it does, right? I'm kind of intrigued.
No wonder they liked Wade. They wanted death by snoo snoo.
Oh God.
So this is a PG-13 podcast now.
Right?
Sorry.
I mean, you know what? I've been pretty good about not dropping F-bombs lately.
I think I did in this episode already.
I might. I might have, but I've gotten better about that.
A couple more points. Just I guess a quick point on the episode length being cut. when Rembrandt sings Silent Night at the end, they get through a verse and then it just kind of fades out into the next scene, like in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think they just decided at one point, oh, here's something we can cut. Let's cut the song. But it was clearly not even like a commercial break cut. It was just like a cut into the next scene where they just faded into them speaking. And it felt so
Yeah.
jarring when I watched it. I watched it twice for this podcast. But yeah, the first time I watched it, I was like, that feels like a bad cut. Like it felt
Yeah.
like a bad.
I was like, what happened to the music? He didn't even finish the song.
Yeah. And they could have, I don't know, maybe cut it at the end of a verse, not in the middle of
Yeah.
the start. Because, like, he ends the first verse, and as he's starting the second verse, it fades out. Like, you should have just done a hard cut after the first verse. There's no reason
Yeah.
to fade out the first three words of the second verse.
That would have made more sense. And it wouldn't have been, like you said, so jarring. I was like, whoa, what just happened here?
And then my last point I want to bring up about the episode length clearly being cut is Kelly throws in a one-liner. No, I'm sorry, it's the other way around. Wade throws in a one-liner to Kelly about "Don't tell Dad who I am." He lost me once. I don't think he'd do it again. But then, like, I don't know, 35 seconds later, he runs outside to see the slide and has no questions.
Yeah, that also.
He's just like, "Oh, there's a weird portal in my front yard. Thanks, Wade, for helping us out. I guess you're going in that weird portal to wherever."
That made no sense to me. And it's like, it was kind of cool that, she and Kelly got that moment where they could, kind of, I don't want to say reminisce because Wade doesn't exist, but, kind of look at
Connect.
life. Yeah. And I get why she would say, don't tell Dad, but he didn't get that.
Yeah, I don't think my theory would be that in the original episode, whether it was filmed or not, the father was clued in at some point, and there was probably more scenes of the dad connecting with Wade as his daughter, not just random lady.
Yeah,
because the way he thanks her, and the zero reaction to a portal to another dimension in his front yard, was a little strange.
If you're not going to tell him that you're his daughter, but you're going to tell him that you're going to go into a portal in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, which would be more believable?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little weird to me.
So I think the biggest flaw in this episode is the cuts, because it left so many weird moments.
There could have been some rewrites, I think, that would make it make more sense in some areas.
Yeah, even just a single, for a Rembrandt song, just a hard cut after the first verse would have been fine. For Mr. Wells, just a second take where he looked confused about the portal in his front yard.
Oh, aliens.
would have gone, would have gone, I think, quite a long way to helping that out. And then just removing the kiss, like do a second take where she just kisses him on the cheek or something. It was so weird without any other context or build up to that moment.
Right. Or like even just a hug. A hug would have made sense.
But you know what I've decided? The kid's name is Arturo Jr. because of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. She's going to consider him the father, the surrogate father.
It's like the joke that goes around. It's like for the military guys that get married like really fast. It's like, hey, I just met you. This is crazy. I'm 3 months pregnant and it's your baby.
Yeah. Exactly. Except in this case, I think she'd be like, I don't know, 18 months pregnant.
Yeah, right?
A kid looked like about a year old or something. I'm not sure, but
yeah. So we don't know when she fell into this issue
situation.
Yeah. So,
and to be fair, like what happened to the father isn't super relevant. They might have glossed over it when she was explaining to Arturo why she dropped him off, but
Yeah.
Um, the relevant part was that she was a single mom struggling in this world that was stacked against her unfairly and in our world illegally. Oh, that
Yeah.
brings me up. They did not, and by which I mean they did, um, zoom in on Rembrandt when Arturo said it's another word for slavery. Like it's the shot of all of them
I
looking at the
remember.
paper he has, and Wade says, I don't remember exactly what she says, but she's like, how can they do that or something? And Arturo says, oh, there's another word for that, slavery. And it goes to Rembrandt. It pans over to him. I'm like,
It's
they
like,
did
yes,
not
we
just do that.
understand. It's like we get the point. Like we
Yeah.
understand that.
So that, I laughed. I laughed a little bit at that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I remember that, and I was like, okay, that was definitely a choice.
Yeah. I meant to write that down in our notes and I forgot. Both times I watched it, it just triggered me. Um, yeah, for the most part, that's all my thoughts on the episode. Again, overall, it was enjoyable. It's a fun little story. Um, Not my favorite episode. I'm probably going to remember it this time because I had to watch it
Yeah.
2 times, write about it, and then speak about it. So definitely not going to leave my memory anymore. Um, but it is, I think, in most cases, a removable episode. Um, you don't lose anything if you were to skip over this episode or whatever. Sorry if there's any Super Seasons Greetings fans out there. Just not my favorite.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it like my favorite, but it does give me that nostalgic feel of growing up when it was Christmas time. Every TV show had a Christmas episode.
True.
So it kind of like stirred that up in me. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's almost like, back in the day kind of thing. So that's how I feel about it. It's probably one of those like every once in a while during the holiday season, I'll pick a show and I'll watch their Christmas episode.
I've made a little like cable station in my home that broadcasts. So I've made a Christmas channel,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm actually getting ready to populate it with. I have like Christmas movies in that channel, and an algorithm kind of picks and chooses from my media library. I tell it what it can choose from, and an algorithm will choose from them. I need to add Christmas episodes to the algorithm now, so that should
That's
be fun.
smart. That's smart.
Yeah. So on a rating system, uh, I'm going to give this 4 out of 10 greedy little children who learned their lesson.
Okay. I think I'll go with 4.5 babies abandoned to random strangers.
Awesome. So that averages out to about 4.25. We can round it up to a 5 out of 10, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's our thoughts on this episodes. Thanks for joining us on this Phantom Entanglement podcast featuring Project Quantum Leap, the podcast, with two of the hosts, Christina and I, Andrew. We'll be back next time we are asked back.
Yep.
Christina has something to plug, I believe.
Well, yes, and I will be including the links. I still have my book. I plugged it on the last episode I was in. It's Puck the Penalties. It's a hockey romance. Definitely not PG-13, more like R rating. So keep that in mind.
Not for the children.
Not for the children. It's the first in the series. The second one's coming out next spring.
So. Cool. I don't have anything really happening on any of my stuff. VHS Unwind is my YouTube channel. I upload there occasionally, not consistently. It is a sort of vibes and chill retro channel where I go out and I take long form ambient recordings and I just upload them unedited with various 1990s and early 2000s tape-based cameras. I have VHS, mini DV, Video 8, High 8, Digital 8, and it's all for the vibes. No narratives, nothing to review. Just my last one, I went to Yosemite, and I put my camera on a tripod in the river and just recorded about 45 minutes of the water rushing by. So if that sounds interesting to you, check it out. Again, link will be provided. And thank you for joining us this time.